Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. My weekend was pretty good. We had some much needed and deserved family time, so that's always good. Now, today's Make It Monday video is part of the Stamper Showcase blog hop. You know that I always love the Stamper Showcase blog hop. It's one of my favorite times of the entire month. Today's blog hop, or rather this month's theme for the blog hop, is going to be our favorite product out of the holiday catalog. And I have to tell you that the Gather Together stamp set bundle suite is my absolute favorite in the entire catalog for a lot of reasons, but it just makes the most beautiful things. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, the suite is called Come Together, and oops, let me get the page. It has the fabulous stamp set and dies, which are amazing. The paper is gorgeous. I mean, it is gorgeous. And the ribbon is to die for. Now, I don't have the wood elements today, or I'm not going to use the wood elements today, but we're going to use some of the other 4 parts of this suite, and you're going to love it, okay? So we're using the Gather Together stamp set and the dies, which are fabulous. I've talked about the dies before because these 3 dies here not only die cut the leaf shape, but they also emboss the veins on the leaf. I could say that. Yes, the veins on the leaf. So it's a fantastic bundle. This one is a must have. All right? Okay. Today's project, because I know you want to know about that. Today's project is this fabulous little treat holder I designed. Now, you'll have to excuse me that I don't have candy in it yet. I'm sorry, but I will tell you what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put the fall colored M&Ms in here, okay, because they're going to be amazing. And if I don't find any fall colored ones, I'm just going to put the regular M&Ms because those colors are fabulous too. All right, so now this treat box is a fantastic size. The finished size of the treat part itself is 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, and it's 3/4 inches thick. So you can put a lot of M&Ms, or you could put probably, I don't know if you could get 6, but you maybe could. You can get at least 4 and possibly 6 of the little fun-sized Hershey bars. You know, they would stack in there nicely, or you could put whatever. I mean, this would be a great size for any kind of a small gift or whatever. So this is great. I wonder, just for my own curiosity here, let me see. No, it's a little too thick. Well, I mean, you can, but it'll stretch it. It's a little too thick to put the glue in there, but that's okay. I was just thinking out loud. Sorry. Okay, so let's get started on our tree box, shall we? Because this is absolutely adorable. I know you're going to want to make it, so here we go. All right, the first thing that you're going to need is a sheet of cardstock measuring 4 1/4 by 11. Yes, friends, that's right. You can get 2 of these fabulous tree boxes out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Yay! All right, so 4 1/4 by 11 cardstock. Check. Now, our 1 piece of designer series paper, this one here, you're going to need 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Okay. And then you're going to need another piece of DSP that is also 2 1/2 inches by 1 3/4. Now, if you wanted to save time and energy, you could just cut 2 1/2 by 5 inch piece of DSP and then cut 1 3/4 inches off for the header, and that would be totally fine. But I really like using the 2 different patterns on the DSP. I'll speak well, I think, maybe at some point today. Okay, so there's that. Now, you're also going to need a scrap of Pretty Peacock, which is what we use to make the frame. And then because we've made a frame, we need a piece of acetate. So window sheet cut at 2 inches by 3 inches. We'll fill that up nicely. Then you're going to need a couple of scraps of mint macaron, Cajun craze, and whisper white. And we're going to use that for the leaves and the sentiment piece. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Now, you're also going to need some of the holiday rhinestones, which, as you can see, I have been utilizing a lot of. I love them. They are gorgeous. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. And then we're also going to be using the wider of the Gather Together ribbon. Now, this ribbon is very, very nice. As you can see, it's got satin trim on either side, but it's got this fabulously soft linen. It is just, I mean, it's really soft. And it makes really nice bows and knots. As you can see, it is gorgeous. So you're going to love that. You're also going to need some Cajun Craze ink because that's what we're going to use to stamp our sentiment. And then I'm using the, oh gosh, I always forget what this punch is called. The tri-corner punch. If I'm not right, comment down below and let me know. I'm so bad, I should know that. But we're going to use the corner rounder part to do the top of our header, okay? So that's what you're going to need. I'm also using the layering ovals dies to do this part, and then I'm using our brand new ornate frames dies for this here. And now the ornate frames are fabulous. You may have overlooked them. They're in the holiday catalog with the Halloween stuff. Let me get the page here for you. It's actually very easy to overlook them because, especially if you're really not into Halloween, you really may just look right over them. But they're right here. Okay, and you can get them as a bundle with the Spooktacular Bash stamp set, which is really, really cute. But the ornate frames can be used for any occasion. I mean, birthdays, Christmas, gift of thanks type of thing. So don't overlook those. Even if you're not into Halloween, don't overlook those frames because they are so pretty. And most of them layer together. So this one here, it layers on top of this one. This and this one both layer on this one. And then the one that we're going to use is right here. And I've actually used this one a lot already on various projects. So it's just a lot of fun. And I'll tell you that this little tag right here matches perfectly with the little mini curvy keepsake box. That tag is a perfect fit for that box. So you can really use these dies for a lot of different projects. All right, let us get started. Now, you're going to need your score tool, whatever scoreboard you have. And we're gonna do, let's start on the short side. So on the short side, you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch on either side. So that's 3/4 of an inch and 3 1/2, okay? And then we're gonna flip it onto the long side and we're gonna do 2 inches. That's our header. We're going to do 5 1/2 inches, which is our back, 6 1/4, which is that 3/4 inch bottom, okay, and then 9 3/4 for our front, and 10 1/2 for the top of our treat. That's the 3/4 top of our treat, and then that 1/2 inch part for the flap to tuck it in, okay? So now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and do some cutting, okay? Now, with your header here and the top of your treat box flap here, we're going to start on this end, okay? Because what I want you to do is, first and foremost, this little rectangle you see right here, I want you to cut at an angle. So we're going to miter that right off the bat. And we're going to cut that first little rectangle off, okay? So we're going to miter the long rectangle and we're going to cut the little rectangle off. Alright, so it looks like this. Now the next thing that you're going to want to do is cut this first line. We're going to cut into that square to the next line. Okay, so now we're making our tabs for the top of our box, you see? So it looks like this. Alright, now let's go ahead and miter those tabs, just because it's always easier to close the flaps when they're mitered. Alright, now that's the front of our box, or the top of it rather. Okay, so that's this section right here. Okay, now let's go to the side of the box, and you have a little square on either side. We're going to cut that on either side, and then we're going to miter that, because that is our side flap. Okay, just like that, and then flip it around and do the same thing on this side. Oops, cut down to the line. There we go. Okay, very good. Now we're going to cut these little rectangles on this end. This is our header side now. Remember, we started out this way, so our header is here. We're going to cut these two rectangles off completely. Okay, so right there on the line to that first line, we're going to just get rid of that whole rectangle. Alright, and there we go. Let's get those out of the way. Okay, so now you've got this piece here. So you have the header, the back, the bottom, the front, and the top. Alright, from here you're going to want to use the layering ovals, and you're going to center it on the front panel. Alright, and then you're going to run it through. Nope, sorry, scratch that. First you want to adhere first you want to adhere your DSP layer. Don't listen to me, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our DSP layer first. Otherwise you're going to have to cut it twice, and that's kind of redundant, isn't it? Sorry about that. Okay, so let's layer right in the center. There we go. Okay, and now we'll cut that out. That saves us a step. Okay, so we're going to run this through the big shot, and then we will come back, but we're not going to have to do that, because the magic of television, I have already got one done. Okay, so we've got this cut. Now, you're going to set this part aside for just a minute, because we're going to get these pieces out right here. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is on your pretty peacock, you're going to layer just like that. Okay, now this piece is obviously a little bit small, but I have one already cut, so it doesn't matter. But you want your scrap to be big enough to hold this scalloped oval. Okay, now when I layer this into the big shot, I layer them inside of each other just like this. That way I can center it and make sure that there's just as much space all the way around, and it cuts it evenly, and it's only one cut. Alright, so the dies are not touching each other, because this one is that much bigger than the inside one, so it's okay to cut the two together. Now, if you wanted to cut the scallop that was just slightly bigger than the oval, you'd have to cut them separate. But since we're using the step up bigger one, we can cut them together at the same time, and it's easier to see that they're lined up well. So we'll do that on that, and then we're going to use, whoops, not that one. From the Gather Together bundle, we're going to use this leaf and the smaller leaf. Okay, and so we'll take those, and the bigger leaf is going to go on the mint macaron, the smaller leaf is going to go on the Cajun Craze, and then we'll grab that frame from the Ornate Frames, and we'll put it on the white, and we'll go ahead and run all of this through the big shot. Okay, very good. Now, of course, I already have that done. So here's our frame. we have the ornate frame, and we have our two little leaves. Aren't they adorable? Okay, let's put this box together. Now, I'm going to use liquid glue because it's a lot easier to get that frame on with the liquid glue. Okay, so I'm just going to run a little bead of liquid glue all the way around my frame. There we go. And we'll put it on the front of the box. Makes it easy with the piece cut out in the center already. We can just line it up. And there we go. Very good. All right. And now we'll take the acetate piece, and I'm just going to run a little glue along the perimeter of the acetate. You want it to just be right on the edge, not too close to the middle. Right along the edge. And then we'll put that on the inside of our treat box. Give it a little press. Nice seal. Very good. Okay. There we go. All right, now, if you hold your box so that you see how it's to be put together, it's to be put together with these panels in, and then we're going to sandwich those little tabs in the middle so that we have a clean inside and a clean outside. And then we'll put the front panels on the outside so that we have a nice clean front. Okay, so when you have your box laid like this, then we're going to decorate this part of the header, and that's why I showed you how it assembles. You don't necessarily have to put it together yet, but we want to make sure that we've got the right front of our header. Now, you want to take your corner rounder, and we're going to round these edges, which I've already done, and then we're also going to round the top edges of that remaining DSP layer that's 2.5 inches by 1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to just stick it inside here, punch, punch, get out of the way. Now we've got this, and we'll run some snail across here and attach this to the front of our header. And once we do this, we'll know better of what we're doing and which direction, because it's so easy to miss that the DSP goes on this side of the header when everything else is on this side, right? Now, I'm going to use tear and tape. You can use liquid glue, you can use snail, whatever you want to. I'm going to use tear and tape because I really like it better. And I'm going to put tear and tape on the outside of the back panels. And I do use a bit of tear and tape on this project just because I want to make sure that if people are opening and closing it, that it's not going to fall apart on them. And then I'm going to put tear and tape on the inside of the front flaps. Alright? And we're not going to worry about that little tab because it's just going to sandwich perfectly since we're putting tear and tape on both panels. Now, if you're using liquid glue, you can still do the same. Just glue the panels, put glue on here first, stand it up, and then attach, and then put glue on this one. You just have to do it in one step at a time instead of all at once, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Alright, let me burnish that down just to be sure. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and pull all of the backings off. That's the wonderful thing about using the tear and tape, is I can do that all at the same time. And it just seems to go a little bit faster. Alright. And I love using the take your pick tool. As you know, I can't sing its praises enough. You've heard me say it many, many times before. All right, now we've got the back of our box and our adhesive is on. We'll fold the flaps on the outside of those panels, and then we're going to fold our box up and we'll line up these panels on either side. Hold on now, friend. Don't attach yet. Now the downside of using tear and tape is that if you don't quite get it into the seam, you have to carefully pull it apart. All right, don't you stick too. Okay, now, nice and easy. There we go. Nice and easy. Get into the seam, my friend. Now you really want to make sure that your seams are lined up the way they're supposed to. There we go. All right, that's better. And then we'll fold the tab over and there's our box. Fabulous, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and use a little bit of liquid glue, and we'll just put it around on our leaves. Whoops, don't run away from me, friend. There we go. Oh, and then it goes upside down. Isn't that always the way? It's like peanut butter on bread or jelly on bread. If you happen to drop it, what side goes down first? The jelly side. Always. Okay, now I'm going to turn these around and I'm just going to stick them right about there. Nice and easy, except for that. That is an unfortunate mess. I'll have to fix that in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this fabulous ribbon and I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm not worrying about a bow. I'm just going to tie a little knot here. Okay, so tying. Give me my scissors. Tying our bow. Not a bow. I just said I wasn't doing a bow. I'm doing a knot. I'm just excited to share it with you. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, clip the edges. Nice and easy. Except that it's sticking to me because now I have glue on my finger. Okay, there we go. And then we can adjust our ribbon where we need it to go. There we go. Fabulous. All right, now we're going to take that frame that we've already cut and our Cajun Craze ink, and we're using the Season of Thanks stamp right there from the Gather Together set. I'm just going to ink it up, make sure that my ink is even. I re-inked my ink pad and it's a little bit juicy, so I have to be careful. Alright, and then I'm going to line it up best I can without getting my face in the way. And we're pretty good. Alright. And I'm going to use some dimensionals. So let me get some mini dimensionals. Actually, get some mini dimensionals here. And I'm just going to do a couple, one on either side, right there. And I'm going to apply it to the front of our box. So we're going to put it right about there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, wait a second. It's sticking down on that part. Hold on, friend. Come on. I don't want it to stick on my window. I just want it to be below the window. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my Take Your Pick tool and the rhinestones, and I'm just going to put a couple of little bling blings on there just because it should have a couple of little bling blings. So I'm going to put that there. I'll put one there. And I'll put one right there. Okay. All right, friends, there you have it. Fabulous little treat box that you can put M&Ms or whatever candies that you'd like to put in there. I put that knot on the wrong side, so I'll just give it a little tweak. Well, I'll give it a tweak here in a minute. So there you go, friends. I hope that you have enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Leave a comment down below on what kind of treat that you would put inside the box. And make sure that you follow the blog link. I'll put that down in the description below, so that way you can follow the blog hop and you can check out all of the other fabulous demonstrators' favorite holiday catalog items. You're not going to want to miss it. They are going to be amazing. So go check them out. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.